The bye week of drama continues with the Aziz Al-Shaair stuff. Brevin Jordan gets an extension. Where does he rank in the guys that the Texans miss the most? Bye week bonanza continues here in the locker room.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock.
It is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can see me here throughout the week, Monday through Friday, 10:30 p.m. Also 9 o'clock SNL with Cody Stutz, which you can subscribe to that new channel in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Would really appreciate that. I think we're pushing 800. Started a couple of days ago. We've been doing the podcast all year. We've been doing the collab all year, but just creating a new channel. So we would much appreciate you for subscribing to that. News with the Texans, Brevin Jordan, he gets a 1-year extension. The absence of Brevin Jordan, I think, has been relatively significant. I don't know if it's as significant as it kind of feels when you watch this offense. Because when you watch this offense, you try to make sense of what's going on. And then you say, well, they could really use this guy. They really miss that guy. I think Brevin Jordan's definitely missed. The tight end room is very meh without him. It seems like everybody's basically the same player at the tight end position, or provides the same type of thing on different levels, minus good blocking. I don't know if Brevin Jordan's a good blocker or not. I think he's probably as good as what we've seen. He's obviously more explosive. He adds an element. But if you were asking me, and this would be the question that I would ask, and we're talking about people who have not stepped on the field this year, or guys who are guys who have stepped on the field and will not step on the field again this year. Where would you put Brevin Jordan? Where would you rank him among the guys that the Texans are missing? I would say number one is clearly Stephon Diggs. And then I would say number two is Brevin Jordan, just because he gives them an element on the side of the rock that they don't have and they don't possess, and they could use as much stuff as possible, to be quite frank, on that side of the rock. So I would say probably number two is where I put Brevin Jordan. I think Diggs is obviously number one. He's still your second leading receiver, by the way, because of the lack of production from Tank Dell. But Brevin Jordan, definitely, I would say number two on the list of as far as guys that you miss right now, specifically on offense. That's the good thing. And you get Brevin Jordan back for a year next year. I don't think your tight end room is set. I think if there's a proactive opportunity to increase the talent level, I think you do it. If that's in the draft, day two, if that's in free agency or whatever, I think you do it. I don't think this is a position, and we have eyes. They ignored the offensive line this previous offseason, which I'm not going to fault them for. I never really bought into it, but based on what you invested, you needed to at least get a look at it. I think at the tight end position, sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying it's at the top of your priority list, but if you get an opportunity and there's someone that you really like in the second round or third round or something like that, that you think can be a complete tight end and be one of CJ Stroud's top targets for years to come and help in the run game, do it. Do it. You're not set with Schultz, running it back with Schultz, Stover, and Brevin Jordan next year. It's not the end of the world if you do that, but that's not a position that you feel really, really good at or should or be opposed to proactively trying to improve that position. Shouldn't do that. So that's what I would do. There's really good tight ends in this draft. The kid out of Penn State, the kid out of Michigan. Are they Brock Bowers? Someone's asking, are there any Brock Bowers in next year's draft? I mean, I think he's going to break the record. So no, I don't think there's any Brock Bowers, and I don't think they'd be able to draft if there were any Brock Bowers, but there's some really good ones. There's some really, really good ones. The Warren kid out of out of Penn State, and then Michigan. Late round, Gunnar Helm out of Texas. Kind of like probably a round 3 or 4 type of guy. Lot better in the receiving game than Cade Stover is. Probably blocks about the same. Space City Ballers on the super chat. How come we never get blessed with an elite tight end? Owen Daniels was good. I mean, they passed on Mark Andrews in the 2018 draft. So they passed on that. They went with, I think, Justin Reed, and then they ended up getting Jordan Akins in that round, but Andrews went to the Ravens. So, yeah, the tight end position's kind of been a struggle when you put it that way. Running back position, kind of a struggle post Lamar Miller and really post Arian Foster. But, yeah, proactively be willing to improve at the tight end position. I think that's something to do. It is the locker room #1 source for digital content with the Texans, along with Cody Stutes, which, by the way, be sure to subscribe to that SNL channel. It is at the top. We appreciate you very much if you can be so kind as to do that. So Brevin Jordan gets the 1-year extension. Christian Harris is not getting an extension if we're trying to look at extensions. Unless it's just a dirt cheap extension and they think that it's some sort of bargain. But he is not going to be getting an extension. Derek Stingley probably is, and it's probably going to be very expensive. That's gonna be one of the first like extremely expensive extensions with this core of players, because he's been healthy all year. He's been one of the best corners in the league all year. And I don't know how they handle this. The interesting thing is all the health that he's had this year, does that cancel out the previous seasons? How do you negotiate there? Do you negotiate based on what the recent? Do you lump it all in together? Are we talking about a top 5 highest paid corner in the NFL? Like, what are we talking about with Derek Stingley? I think it's kind of a no-brainer, though. Eventually, you're going to have to make tough decisions. You're going to have to let some good players go. It should not be Derek Stingley. And I don't think D'Amico on defense would let that happen. So there's that. Isn't Mulugeta his agent? He is. He just hired him. He's also CJ's. So, yeah, Mulugeta is going to be doing some nice business with the Texans relatively soon. He will be getting that done. The Aziz Al-Shaair stuff kind of continuing. There's a lot of dialogue about it. I see the internet's fired up about it. Seems like there's a development of the Astros like us against them type of vibe with Al-Shaiir. I just don't. I put out a video talking about this earlier today. I just don't know that that's really what he wants to do. And I'm not just like pulling that out of nowhere. I'm not just saying that. I don't think that he is. I think he's hurt. I think he's probably a little bit frustrated. I think he probably feels unheard. I think he feels probably misunderstood. I think he obviously might have some regrets, but I don't think he wants to just be the villain that everybody hates. That's not a Texan. That's not really how he's built. I don't think that's really the bed that he's made, unless you count the social media post. I think he reacted on emotion with that, and I think that that's not really what he wants to do. I think he just needs to relax, find a way to relax, lean on those who are close to him, who he can talk to, who he can get stuff off his chest, and just stay away from the internet for a little bit. Because I don't think he's that. I mean, I know the Astros kind of got off to it. The us against them. I just don't really think that's him. I did find this hilarious though, and this was from Demetrius Hall of the Jags. So this is when you know that things are weird these days, and that we're basically just living in high school. This is Eric Armstead of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Eric Armstead, before he went to Jacksonville, he played with the San Francisco 49ers for a number of years. And for 4 of those years with the San Francisco 49ers, his locker was next to Aziz Al-Shaair's. So they're friends and they're buddies. And he also happens to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So when Aziz Al-Shaair did his social media post, Eric Armstead liked it. And I guess that was a big deal in Jacksonville, to the point where he had to start his media availability today by apologizing for it. Let's hear from Eric Armstead earlier today, having to apologize for something so stupid.
I saw people talking about me liking Aziz's post, and I think it's I wanted to address that, because just what everyone was, everyone has their opinions. First off, I love Trevor. He's a great teammate, great player, great person. And what happened, seeing him getting injured was terrible. You never want to see that happen to a teammate of yours. And also too, Aziz is a great friend of mine. We were locker mates for 4 years, right next to each other. We have a great relationship as well too. And so it was a weird situation for me, for sure, seeing my teammate get injured, but also a friend of mine being in a situation like that. And he was definitely in the wrong, and made a bang play that I wish that could have back. But to see the ridicule and him being ostracized the way he is, and the remarks that people are making about him is also terrible. And I feel like I can support my great teammate Trevor, and also I can support a friend in a rough situation when people are being racist towards him, and a lot of hateful things being said about him. I know his character. He's a good dude, and I talked to him and told him that what he did was wrong, or he made a mistake. But that's what happens when you're sometimes in football games. So just wanted to address that first, that I spoke with both of them. I spoke with Trevor as well too, if he saw the like or whatever people were talking about, and me and him spoke about it, and me and him are good as well too, and he completely understands it. It was good to have a conversation with him and check on him too, and see how he was doing. So yeah, just getting that out there.
All right. So there you go. And then on the back end, you know what he has to say? Listen to the next thing he says on here. This is so this guy right here has to address a social media post, liking a post for someone he played with for 4 years. And listen to what's just kind of a sidebar for after this. This is how pathetic some people have gotten.
How does it feel to be nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year? I know you.
So this dude has to address liking a social media post from one of his close friends. And it's like, oh, by the way, yeah, you are also the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So how does that feel? So he basically has to apologize like he's some sort of scumbag because he pressed like on one of his good friend's posts when that dude is going through whatever the hell he's going through. And regardless of what you think of him, it's not an easy thing for him to go through. He's going to have to sit around for a while. He's probably getting cabin fever. He's got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of emotions. I know this for a fact that he's taking this pretty hard. And someone has to apologize for a social media post. And then it's like, oh, by the way, yeah, oh, Walter Payton Man of the Year too. You're not a complete scumbag. Like, this is pathetic.
And then I guess to move forward from that, just how does it feel to be nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year? I know you've been nominated 4 other times with the other.
4 other times. The guy's been nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year 5 times. He's the Jags representative. He represents his team as the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and he's having to go up there and talk about liking a social media post to start off his press conference, like he got arrested last night. It's kind of obvious he's a good teammate there. They're freaking Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. Oh, by the way, hey, I saw that you didn't like Susie's. Here, I'm in the Jacksonville media. You ready? Here I go. I'm Jacksonville. Let's get some Jag stuff. All right, here we go. Just pretend that's Trevor Lawrence. Instead of J.J. Watt giving me that jersey, that's from Jalen Ramsey. And then all that stuff right there. I'm Jags media. Okay, here we go. Eric. Why did you not like Josh Hines Allen's post yesterday where he showed himself working out? Can you talk about why you didn't like his post, but you liked D'Amico Ryan's comments? Oh, by the way, I saw that you donated millions to charity. Can you talk about that too, I guess? That's crazy, man. I don't know that players hate media. I think some do, and they're the loudest. I don't think players hate media. I don't think Eric Armstead hates media. So yeah, I don't know about that. But my God. MH Wheat Nation says it'd be really funny if Aziz was nominated for Man of the Year. Why would that be funny? I saw someone else say that. Someone attached me to that, I think. Why would that be funny? What's funny about that? Quite frankly, if you told me that someone was going to be nominated, I saw that Petrie's their nominee, but I would think Al-Shaiir would have been a thing. Like, he's not a joke. Like, I know people are laughing about that. I saw some Texans fans saying, "Oh, the Texans really had a chance to stick it to the league by making him their Walter Payton Man of the Year." He was at almost every community event this year. That wouldn't be a joke. That would be earned. That's why D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caserio are going up there and defending him so much. That's why D'Amico put his foot in his mouth on Monday, trying too hard to defend him. I don't think it'd be funny, and I think that's why this whole like embrace and put him in like some sort of box as some sort of villain is awkward to me. No, I don't think it would be funny at all. Ironic, maybe, I guess. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, because of all this going on and all that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he does. That's what he does. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that's like at the like a media guy who's like, I'm not trying to be friends with players. Players aren't trying to be friends with me. Like, I'm only there because it's league rules to be there, and you cover the squad, you go there, you do. We're not buds. Like, and they do their thing, I do mine, and it's all good. I mean, sometimes there's like a joke crack there or something like that. So I'm not gonna sit here and like pound the table for Aziz Al-Shaair. I just based on everything that we said about him up till the last few days, despite what I thought was a dirty hit. I know a lot of people don't. I just don't look at him as like some sort of crazy crazy dude. The joke would write itself since the league is trying to paint him as a bad dude, but he's the opposite. Yeah, and I thought, yeah, that goes back to the John Runyon thing. I agree with that. There was something else with this Al-Shaiir thing that I thought was pretty hilarious, and that was the man in charge of the suspension, Ramon Foster, and Stutes, the other half of SNL, which you should subscribe to right now, at the top of the channel. Stutes put this tweet out, and I find this one pretty interesting. So Ramon Foster on his radio show today, which by the way is a Tennessee radio show. He's on the Titans broadcast. He said, quote, "My job is to see the tape, evaluate the tape, and move on to how I proceed to evaluate the cases. There is no emotion or involvements that goes on behind it. He also said the NFL and NFLPA want players in these jobs because they understand players. He said his affiliation with the Titans was noted when he was first selected to be part of the appeals group. He also mentioned that Derek Brooks works for the Buccaneers as well. What does that got to do? What does that mean? Like, what does Derek Brooks working with the Buccaneers got to do with anything? That would only be relevant if Derek Brooks was trying a Saints, Falcons, Tampa Bay, not Tampa Bay. Obviously he would probably be pretty lenient toward that. But if he was trying Saints, Falcons, Panthers, what does that got to do with it? It's not that you're aligned with the team; it's you're aligned with the rival, dude. And I don't. It's not even like the suspension thing. I just like that's dumb. Like if that. And that's where it's kind of weird for me. Like, there's a lot of times where like someone says something that's not like overly consequential, but when just the fact that they're that dumb, you're like, okay, I don't trust this person to do certain things. And if your rationale is that stupid, then I don't know that I trust you to oversee it. I don't care if you're with the Titans or not. I mean, I think you can get a fair shake from whatever. I mean, I don't even care that John Runyon used to be a dirty player. Now he's a scumbag idiot based on the comment that he said, and he's obviously just a fake ass suit. But I don't even care that he was a former player. That has nothing to do with it. I don't even care about his decision. Like the decision's the decision. The 3 games, that's what I thought it was going to be, and they ended up being 2. But that final paragraph was chump stuff. But this Foster guy says Derek Brooks works for the Bucs. What does that got to do with anything? That doesn't mean anything. He's not seeing any of these NFC South appeals, or he hasn't. If he was, that would mean something. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. And it makes me just question his rationale. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand it at all. Back to the Aziz thing. Johnny Lambo says, I worry about him having to be away from the team for 4 weeks more than anything. Landry, do you know how the contact with him works? I don't think anyone from the organization, like the coach, can hit him up, but I think friends can check on him and stuff like that. I don't know. No, that's messed up, and I think that's the thing to worry about. And the other thing is, like, the Joker. I mean, Joker's kind of a lonely, like, cabin. I don't even watch the comic book movies. I haven't seen any of those, but I kind of thought, like, just based on the bits and pieces that I've seen, and y'all like, this dumbass hadn't. Yeah, I don't watch it. I watch a lot goofier stuff than that. Trust me. Like reality shows and stuff. So I'm not making fun of the hobby, but I thought Joker was like a cabin fever dude who's like sitting around acting weird. That kind of scared me a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I think that's crazy that they can't hit him up. I don't know what the foundation and the thought of that is. I want to say it's probably more so like a coaching thing or something, or some sort of strategy or whatever. But I don't understand the benefit of that. Like D'Amico and Caserio can't call Al-Shaiir and check on him. That's crazy. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Brandon says, notice that Autry and Arden Key were suspended for the same thing at the same time, but the Titans reviewing it took an appeal and lifted Arden Key's suspension. Corrupt. I didn't know if that was how that suspension process worked. I'm not sure that that's real news or not. No clue. Review board should have one member from team, half off. I don't know what they should do. Hewitt, To'o, and White are going to bring it. We will see. Yeah, Joker is pretty cringe at this point. Okay, and I knew enough. I knew enough to be dangerous there. Yeah, the crazy villain thing I get. Yeah, nobody tell me about Joker 2. Nobody tell me about Joker 1. I didn't even see the Heath Ledger one. I'm getting judged for that. I didn't see it. Sorry about it. Not my cup of tea at all. But yeah, you can spoil it if you'd like. But the reaction's been interesting. I thought it was the Eric Armstead thing was absolutely hilarious. The dude's got to go up there and apologize for that. And oh, by the way, you're the best guy in the league. Like, you're such a good dude. I guess I'll ask you about that. So where we live in, though, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You notice the likes and stuff, but I mean, gosh, it's kind of self-explanatory what he likes. And the worst reaction of all has been, and this is just unbelievable, because I don't follow Trey Wingo, but I mean, acting like Trevor Lawrence is out 4 weeks because of the concussion is just, I mean, I guess he doesn't follow the league too much. I think Trey Wingo is like one of those guys who puts his name on stuff but doesn't really follow very closely, maybe. But that was weird. It's smart to shut down Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence was playing his best football, it would be even more smart if you're the Jags to shut it down. So, yeah, I think that's the one of the weirder things as well. I don't get what Trey Wingo was trying to say. Arts by Beware says that Christian Harris had a uploaded story. He's getting ready. I told y'all he's had his cleats lately. Getting close-ish to trying to get close. Don't sleep too much on the ramp up, but he's moving around a little bit. We'll see what that looks like. I don't know how Christian Harris fits into what they're doing right now. I don't know. Be nice to get him back for sure. Brevin Jordan going to be back next year. That's the big news for the day. I did 4 videos today, so this is going to be a shorter live. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Please, please, please subscribe to the SNL channel. We're pushing 800. We're live every morning. The podcast is the most popular #1 Texans podcast there is. SNL, Stutes, Locker, Texans. Type it in. Apple, Spotify, whatever. Top 2 in the digital game. So subscribe to SNL. Aziz Al-Shaair drama, Eric Armstead thing weird, and Brevin Jordan, he's back. How much do they really miss him? Appreciate y'all for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. I'll talk to you at 9 a.m. Content don't stop, baby. 4 by week, 4 videos. Let's feast.
Localize every time. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days. Opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We #1. You don't need to try your luck.